Greetings, fellow geeks, and welcome to Pretend Low Earth Orbit for transmission number 659 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob, Commander Takomalda, and this evening we're getting a little post-apocalyptic, and we're going to talk about the 1985 George Millar film Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Joining me tonight are a group of people who know the law. 4 geeks enter, but the same number of geeks probably leave. Chris DeBona.
But Mom, I'm watching the movie.
Nate Ostendorp.
Bust a deal, get the wheel.
Bust a deal.
And Rob Roseboom.
Listen to the law!
So this is one of those movies that I think was just kind of perpetually on like ABC at like 2:00 in the afternoon on Sunday. So I think I might have seen like 20 minutes of snippets of this movie like 1,000 times, but never probably start to finish. So this was actually a weird one to watch. Nate, tell us about your pick.
It has been 15 years since I've seen this one, and I remember watching it, but there was a lot of stuff I did not remember about this one. So yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, all in all, I think this is my favorite of the Mad Max.
Even compared to Fury Road?
The originals. Originals.
Okay.
This is my favorite. Lord Humongous, of course, is the greatest character to come out of any of them.
For sure.
And the most remarkable politician.
Yeah. But this one I like because it's more sort of like a role-playing game. I like that they have the town, lots of different characters who all have a niche to fulfill in this new society.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of interesting things going on. I can easily skip the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they go in the, now we have to have a chase scene because that's what these movies are.
It is about the road warrior. So where is the road?
Right.
Yeah, for me, this movie, I don't know that I put a time code in it, but like when they get to the kids, I'm just like ready to turn it off. Like nothing about that. Like, cause Bartertown is so fun and such an interesting place with like so well realized for what it is that when here's my other thing is that I saw the Peter Pan Hook movie with Robin Williams a bunch, and I always feel like the Lost Boys in that movie are like they're very close to the Lost Boys in this movie. They kind of merge together, and like I like Rufio better than any of those kids because they're all really good at delivering their lines, but they're also just kids. It's the same thing as so many of these movies where you get to your second or third sequel and you have to add a kid. Aliens gets a kid. Terminator 2 gets a kid. They always add kids.
Given my propensity to hate that part of a movie, I actually kind of like the kids, and we'll get into it when we get there.
Let's get
right on.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I get my notes going, and just make sure my key bindings work.
All I want to say is, like it sounds like Rob. This thing was on heavy rotation on every cable channel in the world, right? And so this guy was like my default Australian. Like, if you look like that guy, you're Australian.
Is it the pith helmet?
It's the pith helmet. It's the weird kid with the sandy, goggles. It's the freaking teeth. Those choppers could do. I mean, gosh, they could probably eat a koala. Or defend them against a kangaroo attack. I mean, this is the index Australian for me, not Crocodile Dundee.
It's probably the thing that saved his life after the apocalypse, right?
Right. The apocalypse.
Through the thick hulls of nuts for sustenance and stuff like that.
You got it.
So here we are at the 4:42 mark. We get to see Mel Gibson, our very hairy hero. Is this a mullet?
Blowing on his coxswain whistle.
I preferred to think of it as Jesus hair.
Yeah.
But,
that wouldn't be until later.
There's a lot of messianic imagery for old Mel in this movie.
Here's a little foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
And Bartertown. How can you not love Bartertown?
Bartertown is great. So we just watched Turbo Kid, right? And
Yeah. Which was great.
yeah, and like Bartertown or Turbo Kid is like somebody took Bartertown and like took an eyedropper of color and just squirted some eyedroppers of colored ink. Because Bartertown is all people in leather and studs. But it's still got like, old sports good equipment, but not quite to the extreme. Turbo Kid leans that one extra notch into that stylistically, which I adore, but this is better.
Well, you know what killed me? So first of all, good eye on Nate recognizing the we're gonna build a better tomorrow.
Helping build a better tomorrow.
I love the Bartertown propaganda.
It's amazing, right? But but Bartertown for me is Megaton. It's all these towns. It's the D&D tavern town. It's
And for me, my favorite character in this whole movie comes at the 6-minute mark. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, if Taika Waititi made a movie about this dude's life, the guy who's selling radioactive water and whatever else, the kind of shyster of the wasteland, imagine what a wonderful series you can make out of this dude's life.
Yeah. This is absolutely your first encounter in a party with Bartertown. It's like you're low on water, and this guy's like, "Hey, fresh water!"
Wink, wink.
Exactly. Well, can you play it? You're gonna play it.
What's a little fallout, huh?
What, are you gonna live forever?
What a wonderful human being.
Yep. This is basically the same gag as Police Squad. Like so here, you have to disarm. Oh, okay. This is gonna take a while.
It is 33 seconds of him pulling weapons out. But then later you'll see that he still has weapons on him.
Yeah. Just goes on and on.
This movie might be a little better if it had some O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Can't deny the juice.
You got Mel Gibson, right? I mean, at least he didn't go off on a murder rampage.
But somehow Mel Gibson has been like Hollywood 80% redeemed.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Oh yeah. Oh, here you go.
Yeah. So the thing I wanted to say here is, so civilization has fallen. But we still have both razor blades and shaving cream being produced for the fella here with the
and don't
the
forget
outfit.
the American football shoulder pads, which is a very odd thing to
right?
It's in such abundance in Australia.
Well, that actually leads me to a note that I have later, but this movie doesn't like call out Australia particularly until the very end.
Yeah.
And like that's like it's just generic desert. I mean, they all have Australian accents, but
it's all filmed in Coober Pedy.
It is. Is it in Coober Pedy?
Yep.
I wasn't sure if those were real caves during some of those shots.
Well, what I love about Coober Pedy is it's like my favorite Australian town name. And you know what Coober Pedy means? It's from the Aboriginal term Cooper Pedy, which means white fellows in a hole. I was like, yeah, okay. Because they all live underground. They all dig underground for opals. So they're like, that's where the white people go into the holes.
Makes sense.
So.
Yeah, this dude's first album was fire. I mean, I know you don't have very many choices in the apocalypse, but I think he gets it.
He's in. This is it's weird how many movies in the 80s just have a dude playing a saxophone for some reason.
It's something.
It's weird. I don't understand it. It's not a cool instrument.
So that's Andrew O as Tauntaun Tattoo is his name, and it is the only movie he's credited with. But I'm going to see if he's like some prominent saxophonist.
I hope so for his sake, because I mean that guy's awesome. So I just wanted to note this is our premiere, our introduction to Tina Turner. The shoulders on her costume are pretty extraordinary, but I don't know how much like defense those are providing her. Like, I don't know. Is that like chainmail?
Mesh chain mail, sure.
And here we have the tryout.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many good characters.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies where every support character, like every background actor, is so much nonsense that they're great.
Yeah,
Well, and also they lean in. Like, this isn't like George Lucas with his dumb names. They all have names that are just like absurd but fantastic. Like, you know, the Collector and the Master and Blaster and Iron Bar, Pig Killer, Blackfinger, Anti-Entity. It's like, what? You guys are
Iron
having
Bar,
the best time. You
the
know?
captain of the guard, who's a full foot shorter than every single person in Barter Town.
It's really
The
something.
lights, the motors, the vehicles, all run by a high-powered gas called methane. Methane comes from pig shit.
Yep.
That's one of the lines that I always remember from this movie.
Yeah.
He's the brains.
So here's the question, right? Is Master Blaster okay? Like, could you put Master Blaster in a movie in these times?
That's rough.
Boy.
Yeah.
Because we had this question with Time Bandits, right?
Yeah.
So not only do you have a little person now, but I mean, you will soon learn that, well, this is supposedly someone with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, one of the things that happens when you have Down syndrome is you lose musculature and you're not very big. So,
Yeah, I mean, he
this
could
is
have
the exact
another sort of
opposite.
related disease, you know, he could have like a trisomy or something. But yeah, no, it's like, I don't know if you could have this now.
Right.
Well,
It's just too.
they keep him masked for so long that it's actually a pretty good reveal when it happens.
I had totally forgotten about it, by the
Yeah.
way. So yeah, I was like, oh, that's right.
It's a bit of a problem.
But yeah, I don't think you could. I don't think you could do that today. In the 80s, like there was, what was it, Our Town with Corky?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was.
Oh, no, Life Goes On.
that's
right?
the one.
Life goes on.
Yeah,
Our Town.
Our Town. I don't know what I was thinking.
That's the play that we all had to do in school.
But you know, I feel like there were, I don't know, it was sort of in exactly when this movie was made.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing I want to tell you about the saxophonist, his
Mhm.
name's Andrew O. He's been a studio and movie musician since the 1970s. Born in Singapore, based in Australia. He's got an epic, incredible career as a saxophonist and flautist.
That's kind of awesome. Probably
Yeah.
friends with George Miller. He's like, I'm gonna need you to wear some leather and play a saxophone. Done.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this guy's legit, you know.
Well, let's give Master Blaster his due, I guess.
The brains.
Yeah.
He runs Underworld. The other one is Blaster. He's the muscle. Together they can be very powerful.
It's funny how, like, this guy essentially is the level boss. Right, and this is why I think, Rob, to your point about how this feels like a D&D campaign, like this is the mini boss that he gets to fight early on his way to the big puzzle. But I absolutely adore the developed rivalry between Tina Turner and Master Blaster. I think that is just the funniest thing. Of course, they're jockeying for control, and one guy controls the below and the other guy controls the above. That's classic stuff. It's so good.
I want to point out Amblue should probably be doing his own movie podcast. So he's like, I mean, listen to this. Iron Bars, Pale Shadow of Wes. The kids thematically tie into Max's origins. Remember, he had a kid or something and it died in the apocalypse. And he said that Max's wife played the saxophone. How does anyone know this? That's incredible, Amblue. I mean, talk about an MVP. You know, we shouldn't have Cliff. We should have him come in, you know?
He can pick a
Same.
movie next time somebody's
He'd
out
be the
sick.
substitute, you know.
Oh, here's a classic. Oh wait, I got the wrong minute.
No, it's
21.
I was at 20:05 like a dummy.
Barter town.
Who run Barter Town?
Who run Barter town? You know who. Say. Master Blaster.
I find his vocal like the way that he speaks really weird, but also the kids do it all too. Like everybody has like a weird stilted language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I kind of feel like the first hour of this movie, they could just show, like HR could show you, to show you why you shouldn't be an asshole, right? Because that's really what this whole first part of this movie is. It's about how if he just wasn't such an asshole, everything would work out for him in this town, you know?
Well, I mean, really, everyone in the structure, the power structures that he's created, cater to being a complete jerk, So it's like, there's no one who's going to rise to power in this environment who isn't an awful person because he set the standard, right? So, yeah.
You want
right.
foot and face? Disarm.
I just love that. You want foot and face? Disarm. It's like, okay, you're the boss.
No jury, no appeal, no parole. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
And of this whole movie, this is the scene, right? This is the thing that, at least for me, this is what I remember. We 2 men enter, 1 man leave, and you get to fight in the world's coolest jungle gym.
And this was before like the Octagon had like really shown up, right? I mean, was this the first Octagon in movies?
For me, this is the part that stands out.
Master Blaster!
Monster!
Listen to the law!
Ante, 2 men in dispute.
He's our witness, Auntie. Us suffer bad. Us want justice. We want Thunderdome.
Totally. But well lit, staged. This is the first half of this movie is extraordinarily enjoyable.
Well, I mean, George Miller, you can really see him getting exercised and
Right?
trying things out.
Getting ready to go on to direct Happy Feet.
So,
yeah,
here we are with
my. You skipped ahead a couple times.
Oh, did I? Oh, I did. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Oh, I guess we're not important, huh, Malda?
I'm sorry. I'm doing
So-
my best.
he is for sure my second favorite character in this movie. I think you could just play everything the MC has to say. It's brilliant. All of it is brilliant.
Master Blaster!
We already played that.
Yeah, got to go to the next one.
I just wanted to show Auntie's special Thunderdome chair, which, like, hey, some prop guy probably spent like 3 weeks building this thing, so you got to appreciate the 8 seconds that's on the screen.
For sure not OSHA approved.
No.
Yeah, but at the same time, imagine if he drops Tina Turner.
Well,
that's no good.
That ain't Tina Turner in this shot. It's only Tina Turner for that last 3 seconds. But that is a good way to travel. I'm all in.
Yeah, let's endorse that.
And yes, the Thunderdome MC is phenomenal.
And girls. Boys and girls. Dying times here.
Wow.
I want him to narrate everything for me.
He's got a gentle sound to his voice too. I think I'd trust him. I find the rubber bands a little weird.
Yeah, the bungee stuff is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know who decided that would be cool. They were wrong.
In some ways, this sort of marks when the movie starts to go kind of off the rails. It's like, you had every mark up until the moment where you had, what's the Canadian circus troupe that has all the shows in Vegas?
Cirque.
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil. Right up until the Cirque du Soleil inspired Octagon. You know,
Well,
it's
and
like
you wonder what the meeting was like, where they're like, all right, we're gonna stage out what Thunderdome's gonna be like, and everyone's talking, well, it's this, and then someone's like, and there's giant bungee cords or big rubber bands that connects them to the ceiling so they can jump around a lot.
Right.
And everyone at the table was like, yeah, great idea, Bill.
My problem with it is I think I would be okay with it, but I feel like it's a little bit inconsistently executed. Like, I feel like the people up top are pulling, and sometimes they're like shooting across, like they're stretching it on their own power. But this shot in particular, like, that's not like the physics of those rubber bands. That's somebody clearly pulling him up and dropping him down. They're not using the elasticity in that. So that actually took me out of the moment, guys.
Inconsistent rubber band physics is what takes us all out of the moment, Mr. Mulder.
Yeah. It's ruined many movies.
But that is a dark helmet.
Yeah. Was that your comment for this?
No. My comment here was just that I like then that because it's a movie like this, they both get their upgrades. Then they set it up right. The audience's they got like chainsaws and big mallets up top, and they're just ready. When things get boring, I'll just add a chainsaw. That's all right.
I did like that chainsaw turns out to be the worst weapon, because you'd think it would be a finely tuned chainsaw that would actually start and have a bunch of gas in it, but no.
Yep.
Well, when I've been thrown into a post-apocalyptic Octagon, the first thing I think is, I bet their tools are high quality.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet there's definitely fuel in this,
Also,
given that fuel is so expensive in this world.
And precious.
The very first thing I'd do if I got a Naganita like that was cut my own fucking rubber bands.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Those are not an asset to you in any way.
No.
So I want you just to play that one more time, because the scream as he kills the innocent bystander. It's like,
There's like two screams.
People, why are they standing so close to all the whirling blades?
Well, I don't think they have a lot to live for.
Well,
Chris, I know they're in Barter Town and everything, but
also on Blue Notes, those are probably the cheap seats. If you're high class, you probably get up towards the top, so you can move the weapons around.
Yeah, those are for sure like promotional seats they just give away.
And we reveal the truth about Master Blaster.
Heartbreaking.
It is. It's like he cares, like legit cares.
And like, think about it. Like, if Master dies, who takes care of Blaster? He's the only guy looking after this guy's future.
This is also where Master starts using like proper grammar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my Yoda affectation only was like part of my link to this guy.
Yeah. It was my character.
Yeah. So,
but this does bring up
the
twist that I really appreciate, that no one is outraged that Tina Turner has plotted to kill Master Blaster. They're pissed off that Mad Max broke the deal.
Totally.
Because that is what matters most.
Yep.
It's Barter Town.
It's the law.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Play it.
Bust the deal. Face the wheel.
Bust the deal and face the wheel.
This movie. Okay.
Oh, I was just going to say, this just goes to show how well catchphrase-based legislation operates.
Yep.
Yeah. I've tried to come up with like the precedent of 2 men enter, 1 man leaves can't be broken.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'll have a bust the deal and face the wheel consequence.
No, if it rhymes, it must be true. I mentioned OJ earlier. I just watched that whole mini series on OJ. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
I think we can all agree the world would be a lot better place if we all just listened to the law.
That's true.
It's like OG rap, like that can be the only way that the law is presented.
So I just wanted to note that they have this like wheel that they spin here to determine the punishments, but a lot of care went into this wheel. Like
It was well crafted.
yeah.
I mean, and Auntie's choice is like a full, a full sixth of your outcomes.
Double down, man.
Every time I see it, I hope it lands on Auntie's choice.
Never does.
Even though I know it's not going to.
Yeah.
Hard. Wait, was there one that said hard language?
Hard labor.
Hard labor.
Hard labor.
Lose goods. It's like.
Well, old Max gets kicked out.
How about get dragged out by a monkey?
And now the movie starts degrading a little bit, like a satellite coming back to Earth. It slowly starts to fall apart.
It would have been better if they wouldn't have gone beyond Thunderdome and they would have more like stayed at Thunderdome.
Look at that matte painting, though. It's gorgeous.
Here,
Oh, God, these
here are the
kids.
lost
Yeah.
children, which I agree are like an echo of Hook.
I mean, they predate
Was
the
Hook
movie, but
before this?
no, this
Yeah.
predates
No.
Hook by like 5 years. but-
Hook was 90s or
Yeah.
1990.
I have a scene coming up where I think they got inspired. Ugh.
So like here we have proof that at least the Goths lived through the apocalypse,
Yeah.
right? Like the cockroaches, you can never get rid of the Goths. And
Or Bugs
also,
Bunny.
I sure the kids are a departure from your usual Mad Max thing, but I love the sort of cargo cultish sort of religion that they've built up.
Yeah.
From what little memories they have as little children, and now they are making children themselves and teaching them this weird religion that they have, and they have no idea about how airplanes work or the world. I just like the religion that they made.
This oral history they share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just
That's weird.
yeah, that one struck me.
Well, now it's time for the makeover. The Mad Max mullet.
We need a
montage.
montage.
Yeah, the Mad Max mullet gets trimmed off, and then he can, truly flower as a Mel.
As a cop. Yeah.
We kept it straight. It's all there. Everything marked, everything remembered. You wait. You'll see.
I just like that phrase about their lore is everything marked, everything membered.
What gets measured gets done.
I have a question about the acoustics of a cymbal with a hole cut through the center. Does that sound right? I don't honestly know.
I think this is supposed to be a compressor mount for a jet engine. So it came from the airplane.
Oh, good.
And
good
so
call.
it'd be a very thin piece of titanium, is my guess.
Would it sound
And
like that?
I absolutely adore this whole story.
Yeah.
The whole Viewmaster thing that happens here.
I
I think it's great.
Okay.
I love that they have their TV basically that they put around things.
It's brilliant. Yeah. You need to go forward precisely 1 second. Okay. That is the Ewoks and the C-3PO scene and them sitting amongst the Ewoks, hearing from C-3PO and him telling the Darth Vader, and making all the voices and sounds and stuff.
Totally.
That is exactly it's almost like a frame exact copy of it, And I was just like, whoa.
And my favorite part. Go back. You
Oh.
skipped it.
50, did I?
Why are you killing our joy?
I'm sorry. The shot.
Play it.
Remember this?
I love that they have Mrs. Walker in there. Sure. That to me is the best. That showgirl, Mrs. Walker.
That is great.
And
It's sweet.
the Viewmaster, kind of. Maybe this is like an Australian Viewmaster. We just had it in Turbo Kid.
A Viewmaster. No. Yeah.
So
Look at their hair.
for me, this is a little bit like the Ghostbusters bit where they say, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. This is when the movie should have ended. Because what it should have happened here is Mad Max should have said, yes, I'm this demigod folk hero you've been waiting for. I'm going to live the rest of my life in paradise here where there's tons of water, there's plenty of food, and you all think I'm a demigod. And the whole movie should have ended right here.
You won.
And if you think about it, not all these kids fit on that plane at the end. Okay. Oh, spoilers. So, like, which one of these kids became a Morton Joe is my question.
Oh, isn't that explained? Or, like, lore?
That ain't me. You got the wrong guy.
Quick, Josh and Captain. Hey, catch the wind. We got to
catch the wind.
And now I almost don't care about anything that happens in this movie now.
Yeah. That felt very War Boy-ish to me, where he kind of jumped down and like touched him and ran off.
That character, I feel like, is the proto War Boy. And then like all the rest of all of that is like, I mean, well, I guess now he's going into the big car chase scene. So, and they lean so heavily into that for Fury Road.
So the thing is, I so wanted this to have a Qantas logo on it. Like, or some parody, like instead of a kangaroo, it had a koala or something. It's like, come on, really? Where's the give me a Qantas, you know?
Well, I thought that these shots were really nice.
Oh, they were.
You got the people just lined up on the wing of the plane. You've got the war boy climbing up the tail. I mean, and then them all lined up on the roof with their weapons and stuff. They had some fun, man.
So here's the thing. So to climb up that tail, there had to have been a ladder.
Yeah.
On the side, right?
Yeah.
That's not practical.
Come on, that's not it's very impractical, this movie.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a fiction. I know. Oh yeah, that was just my note. I like that shot.
A remarkable piece of poetry.
I would expect nothing less from Mr. George Miller.
Go back once.
It has a seatbelt that's like a seatbelt buckle holding up her shirt. That's cool.
All right, hit play.
We've done that. He's got word stuff from his ass to his mouth.
Like, wow. It's like that's a hell of a way to say that. That's
word stuff from his ass to his mouth.
I mean, that's brilliant. You know,
Yep.
They had fun writing the dialogue.
They had a lot of fun writing the dialogue.
So this shot, it goes on a really long time. They pan, like this must be like everybody's kids, because they pan past them all very, very slowly. And it was very annoying.
It's like they have to fill an extra minute of film or something.
They're 10 minutes over the 90-minute mark, so they're not even like, they're fine. They did that for the love of it. Well, now our notes start getting a little bit more spread out, I think, because now we get to there's a lot of day for night shots. I don't like that.
Here's a Sarlacc pit.
Yep.
Yep.
They do all the things. I will say all of the car action stuff is great. It's really well done. It's just it's hard to care anymore because we've seen that so many times.
We have to hear this.
Remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
He's deep.
It's like that's straight out of Buckaroo Banzai. Just saying.
I saw this and I just thought, it's a Herkimer battle Ginny.
One of the greatest non-lethal weapons of all time.
So I didn't mark a specific time code, but the other thing that I really noted is that throughout the last half hour of the movie, the orchestration is really big. It's really big. Like
Yeah.
it switches
and sometimes really bad.
Yeah.
You know?
So I looked it up. The composer's name is Maurice Jarre, and he has done Solar Babies, Top
Solar
Secret,
Babies.
and wait for it, Enemy Mine. So
Enemy Mine, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's basically now like a Geeks in Space regular.
Yeah. Gosh. He's the guy.
Nobody picks Solar Babies, please.
No, I can't.
I can't.
I won't.
I won't do that.
Thank you.
It's
no,
a bad.
I'll have to take the week off if one of you pick it. That's just screw that.
Oh, I have Cliff's pick for later. It might be.
I did want to just note that we are now at our kind of classic Mad Max like format here. An hour and 22 minutes into the movie. So
Which page your ticket for?
Yep, they tried to bend the rules as much as possible, but like with Star Wars, you got to show lightsabers and space dogfighting, and in Mad Max, you got to show fleets of junker cars out in the wasteland.
Yeah,
with
just
the most elaborate roll cages ever devised by man.
Just ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, though, it was really fun to watch this because I was seeing, so Fury Road, they did this and they did this. He was clearly learning on the job, and like, wow, this is really something. It's like watching a baby that turned into Fury Road,
For sure. Well, and that's the thing, right? You make the joke, it's poetry, it rhymes, but like you can see. The director is like, he's developing the war boy notion. He's developing what car fights look like.
Yeah.
And there's a whole ton of really crappy day for night shots, and they do the same thing in Fury Road.
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
Plan? There ain't no plan.
You just asked that guy what the plan was. Come on.
That guy's plan is not to shovel pig shit anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what his plan is.
I'm going home.
So there's this whole scene with the kids cranking the record. I'm a little questioning because that they're able to crank at such a steady rate. The voice is not
spring
distorted.
inside.
Oh, you think? All right.
Yeah, you're transferring energy to a spring.
All right.
Yeah. And let's be clear, they're in a rickety ass cabin elevated many feet above the road. You think they can hear anything while going this speed?
Right. There hasn't been a window in this entire movie. It's all just open air.
And I feel like for as often as vehicles get trashed, this guy's car is way too elaborate. He takes way too much pride. You know he never goes out on missions. Look how cherry that thing is.
Well, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks like he actually spread a real cowhide out over this. This isn't a paint
It looks
job.
like multiple cowhides.
Yeah.
This is his cow wagon.
That's probably what it's called when they sold it off in their big auction afterwards, the cow wagon, or it's sitting in the Mad Max Museum outside of Cooper Pedy.
God, I hope so.
Which, by the way, exists. I think we've talked about those. So
I think we've mentioned it during the news before.
This podcast is brought to you by the Mad Max Museum at Cooper Pedy.
The Cooper Pedy Tourism Institute.
It's Cooper Pedy Tourism Institute.
Hey, come here. Look in our holes.
Squarespace? Hell no. Cooper Pedy.
This is a little bit too slapstick for me.
Oh, it's very silly.
Yeah.
And then he uses it as a steering wheel.
Yep.
Yeah, because he doesn't understand cars.
Yeah, he doesn't know how cars work. He's only, living in a world where it's all cars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he's lived in a valley.
Oh, that's true. He's seen a car, right? I don't know, maybe not. I guess they don't know how planes work.
Oh no, Master.
Yeah, this part where Master gets snatched from Auntie's arms, I thought was, and it's so obviously a doll, but just play a little bit of it. Just like run that football into the end zone. Like
and Spike. Oops.
I understand he's a little person. That little person probably still weighs 150, 160 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, that scene back
he was
there.
2
where
feet 11 tall. I mean, he's really small.
That scene back there where they shoot him with the harpoon, the pig killer.
Yeah.
And then they open the door and pull the harpoon. Like, that would have tore off his leg. Did you see the size?
Yeah, I mean
of the arrow at the end. Like that would have
he
never
was dead.
worked. That would never work.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that Master was also in Freaks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I just like this because I like to think about how many days this kid has sat out at the end of this railroad track.
Yeah,
totally.
You know, months probably.
Nothing.
He sat out there, nothing. And then one day he sees it coming down the track and he's like, here it is. Everything I prepared
My
for.
chance.
Right?
Play it.
This is a stick-up. Anybody moves, and the dead mate.
He's intense.
I figured that's Immortan Joe.
And then he looks what's coming.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, I'm out of here.
I do like that they have their secret tunnel hidden in the trunk of a car. That's
very smart.
I warned you, Dad.
I warned you, Dad. Yeah, all I said is it's obviously overloaded. You know, there's no way it's getting off the ground. So
yeah, the single passenger aircraft.
I mean, they are children, and they're probably pretty underfed.
Yeah, but
yeah. Again, some of that music, it's really big.
It's almost like, it makes me think of like one of the Monty Python or the Baron Munchausen, the
that.
Time Bandits. I'm like, what are you doing? Michael Jure, a man with your career. I love that suit. This is a Nate. This is about the suit.
Right? Oh yeah, no, I like that he decided to don a suit and his kind of like salute here. Just play it for a second. Yeah, he just kind of like.
Yep.
Good exit for Master. He did okay.
He character arced.
Yeah.
Well, ain't we a pair? Raggedy Man.
I just like that. Ain't we a pair, Raggedy Man?
It was kind of out of nowhere, though.
It's totally unmotivated.
Realistically, they should have thrown him in the underworld. And, you know.
I mean, she would just kill him immediately.
I think she might try, now that Master Blaster's gone and they've lost some people, she might try to partner with him because he obviously has skills.
Maybe, just maybe, she's going to take this opportunity to reform how they run things to be more like Lord Humongous, and how he accommodated difference and thought about what people really needed, and was sensitive to when they were sad or were blue.
And their team of copywriters will come up with some new legislation, catchphrases.
Because he understood that we've all lost people we love.
Right?
Yeah.
And maybe like, in addition to chainsaws and giant hammers, we can like have new power-ups available in Thunderdome.
In the Octagon?
You know, to really just pump up the fun, because we want to see our Coliseum.
I mean, Lord Humongous was a vicious, terrible person, but at least he supported his people. That's all I gotta say.
So now we see that this was Sydney all along for sure, in case the accents didn't fool you.
Yeah, and I was making Desert of the Real jokes, from the Matrix, but yeah. And then only once the credits fall, so there's this whole like sequence. You can hit play for a bit.
This you know, the years travel fast, and time after time I done the tell.
Yeah,
let it be known, it was the year.
Right?
Yeah.
Very tuned. And then we get the song, right? Oh, was that her saxophone? But yeah, we get...
It's 1985. Of course you got saxophone.
We are
never gonna change.
It's weird to me
It
to
took
think
that long to get the song.
Yeah, it's weird to me to think that Tina Turner was a pretty dang big deal
She was a huge
She was a
deal.
huge deal at this in this era, and so that's a really weird part for her.
It's
Kind of
a
awesome.
weird part for her. Yeah,
So that's Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
it's quite a movie.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for the pick.
Thank you for picking it. I thoroughly enjoy Bartertown, and I appreciate the children, and the rest is there as well.
It's 45 minutes of some of the best stuff ever. And then I guess when they get around to Fury Road, they just lean in so hard on the car stuff that's almost all that movie is. So I guess they learned what they wanted to make, and they won some Oscars for it. So I guess that was a good choice. So gentlemen, next week, Mr. Christabona is taking the week off.
Well, I have some things I need to take.
You have important matters. You're going to go
It's family.
travel to the wasteland, bring some gas. But Cliff will be joining us, and he has given us his pick. He wants to watch Starship Troopers.
I'm missing Starship Troopers.
I know you are.
You jerks.
That
First Real Genius, now Starship Troopers.
I'm afraid.
Yep.
Damn it. I mean, I already made a tab for it.
Yeah.
For God's sakes.
That's
it's
what
all the way over on
What
the
a-
far right.
What a dick move.
I know. You call in the pinch hitter, and sometimes he hits a home run.
I mean,
See,
I've
here it
been
is. It's like
waiting for this.
tab number 4, and much later, Starship Troopers.
All right, gentlemen. Let's say our farewells to the internet. I think there's a space launch.
Maybe I'll make my kid walk to his appointment. You know?
You're gonna show up halfway through from your car. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I want to
Why
talk
not?
about.
You
I
can
want to
fit
talk
5
about how they're
people.
afraid.
You've got an extra green screen now. No reason that can't just go right over your driver's seat.
You laugh, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Uh-oh. Well, maybe we'll see you in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll see you in one, Chris Bona.
I literally already have notes in for this show.
Goodbye, Nate Ostendorp.
Farewell.
And goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
I was Rob Commander Taco Maldo. That was Geeks in Space. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Friday with some news if you're lucky. Bye.